भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं कर्वावहै तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिस्सीदसादनम्। ॐ श्री महागणपतये नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। वासुदेवेन्द्रयोगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते। Today we will enter into the second chapter, that is called Tattva Vivek Prakaran. The first one was called, what was the name of the first chapter? Anybody? Name of first chapter? Mangalacharan was the first shlok, Vasudevendra Yogindra. No, not Sadhan Chatushtay.
The fourfold qualification?
No.
Anubandha Chatushtay?
No. अब सब तुक्का मारो. Adhikari Prakaran. First chapter's name was Adhikari Prakaran. This one is Tattva Vivek Prakaran. Remember the names. Okay, so now we will read the chapter and first two paragraphs. It has got only two paragraphs. We'll read both of them and then we will enter it. Let's see what it says. Tattva Vivekah kaha. What is Tattva Vivek? Tattva Vivekah kaha. Atma Satyam Tad Anyat Sarvam Mithyeti. Atma is Satya. Other than that Atma, everything falls under the category of Mithya. Atma Satyam Tad Anyat Sarvam Mithya iti. With Sandhi it has become Mithyeti. Mithya iti. Then what does it say? Atmakaha. He is trying to put a question and then he is giving the answer for us. Then from the answer only he is picking up another question. So like Tattva Vivekah kaha. The question was Tattva Vivekah kaha. Answer was given Atma Satyam. Only Atma is Satya. Other than that everything is Mithya. This is called Tattva Vivek here. Then the question suddenly arises, what is Atma? The student is as if asking, but I don't know what is Atma. Tell me what is Atma. So then again he starts answering. He is answering in negating what it is not. So Atma kaha, what is Atma? Sthula, Sukshma. ওটাই ছিল উপরে। स्थूल सूक्ष्म कारण शरीराद् व्यतिरिक्तः पंचकोशातीतः सन् अवस्थात्रय साक्षी सच्चिदानंद स्वरूप सन् यस्तिष्ठति स आत्मा. This chapter has got only these two paragraphs. So what is it saying? What is Atma? Now here it is negating what it is not. Sthula Sukshma Karan Sharirat Vyatirikta. That means Atma is not these three Sharir. What are these three Sharir? He will take one by one into account. He is introducing the words for us. He wants us to know the technical words that are you see, every Vidya, whatever you go to engineering, you go for medicines, they have got their own words to be used. So here also technical words are introduced for us. Definitions, this is a definition book. So sthula sukshma karan sharirat vyatiriktah. You have to remove, vyatirikta means to negate, to remove. Vyatiriktah sthul sukshma karan sharir. We have got three bodies. Then five koshas. Five koshas, pancha koshatitah. You have to remove that five koshas also. What is kosha? We will come to that point again. Sun avastha sakshi. It is not those three states also, plane of consciousness, Jagrat, Sushupti and Swapnavastha. Then what is it? Then he comes to this point that it is Satchidananda Swarupa Sun. What is it? It is of the nature of Satchit and Anand. Yas Tishtati Sa Atma. When you remove all these things, what it is not, you get what it is. This is a procedure followed in Vedanta. First, we have to remove what it is not to come to the conclusion of what it is. Okay, so we will enter this. We'll see these two paragraphs. Let me see how much I can complete today. We can remove this. Okay, now. Now, what is Tattva Vivek? Here the answer given to us is Atma Satyam. Tad Anyat Sarvam Mithya iti. So he is introducing three new words, Atma, Satyam and Mithya. So now we will start with what is the difference between Nitya and Anitya and Satya and Mithya. Because these two words have been introduced newly. Satya and Mithya. Where was the word Nitya and Anitya? Where did we see these words Nitya and Anitya? What was the definition?
Viveka, Nitya, Nitya Vastu, Viveka.
Very good. So Vivek means what? Nitya and Anitya Vastu Viveka. When we discriminate between Nitya and Anitya, that is called Vivek. Very good. So what was the criteria behind Nitya and Anitya Vastu Viveka? What was it for? To gain Vairagya. To gain Vairagya, it was not for knowledge. To gain Vairagya, that is the main purpose of having Nitya and Anitya Vastu Viveka. To know, to differentiate between Nitya and Anitya. Why do we do that? To come to dispassion. Because this is Anitya, this is Nitya. I am going after all the false, all the Anitya Vastu. That means that I won't be getting permanent happiness out of that. It generates a sort of vairagya in us. If somebody tells you that this person, you befriend a person, and somebody tells you that this person is friendly only superficially, he talks bad about you, and this friendship, this relation won't last long. What will be our reaction? What will be our response? Slowly, we will have dispassion from that person. Though we won't show outside, but inside will be completely dispassionate from that relationship because we know about his attitude, actual attitude. Similarly, here also, when we do Nitya and Anitya Vastu Vivek, that time we come to know that all these things are false. This is not permanent here, and I won't get something permanent even after I invest all my time and energy. So a certain type of mentality, a certain type of dispassion comes in our mind, and we are safe from that thing, object, person, situation, anything. Hmm. So this is for getting vairagya. It is also called Purushartha Vivek. This Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivek is also called Purushartha Vivek. We will hold a quiz session. I think next on the first chapter, we will have a quiz session so that you all can come prepared, and then we'll have prizes also for that. Okay. So this is also called Purushartha Vivek. What is his conclusion? His conclusion is, I won't get something very concrete from these things. Anything concrete is not available for me from the material world, because all comes under temporary uh, category. It is all temporary. When one is struggling to get dispassion, when one is struggling to have vairagya in himself, and that time this Nitya and Anitya Vastu Vivek, this comes to help. And what is Satya and Mithya? Satya and Mithya, this is for having Gyan. This is for obtaining knowledge, Atma Gyan. Now, after this knowledge, after this qualification, he is inquiring about Atma. After these qualifications of the Adhikari Prakaran, once he has got those qualifications in himself, the four qualities, Vivek, Vairagya, Samadhi, Shat Sampatti, and Mumukshutva, now he is into his uh, inquiry about the self, about Atma. Who am I? What is this world? What is the relationship with this world? Who made this world? Is the world real? You'll really enjoy all these things. If you have these questions, then Tattva Bodh is for you. You'll enjoy this class, you'll enjoy the text, you'll try to implement it wherever you are working. It will be very enjoyable for you. But if you don't have these questions, then you'll find all these things boring. You just want the class to get over and finish it off. Okay, so now we come to Atma Satyam. What is this Atma? Atma is Satyam. So what does it mean when they say that Atma is Satyam? Satyam means, definition of Satyam is that which is not dependent on anything other than itself. Again, Satyam means that which is not dependent on anything other than itself. Not dependent on anything. If anything is dependent on something other than itself, it will fall under the category of mithya. Okay. Now we will try to take some examples. What do you call a flower? What is a flower? Are the are the petals the flower? Is the stalk the flower? Is the color the flower, color of the flower? Suppose a red rose is there. Is it the redness of that rose that you call the rose? Or the thorns? Yeah, no, I don't want the thorns. The fragrance. What is a flower? When we
Might
come,
dependent all.
yes, it is the all the components, when they come together, they constitute a flower. If I give you one petal, I cannot say that I'm giving you a flower. The stalk is not the flower. But when everything comes together, then it is called a flower. So the whole thing is dependent. The flower is dependent on all the other components. And it has to be at a particular place. It's not like you have thorns on the petals. Everything has its certain place. In this way, everything here, whatever example you take, is dependent on something else for its existence. And that is why it cannot come under the category of Satyam. Take any example. What is a desk? I feel the desk is real. Desk is dependent on what? What is it made up of? Wood. If a wooden desk is there, it is made up of wood. A plastic chair, it is made up of plastic. Anything in this world is dependent on something else for its existence. So that cannot come under the category of Satyam. Are you getting the point? So something other than itself is appearing to us, but we take that object to be Satyam. Our attention is not going to the actual component, but to that composition as a whole. And when we say something is false, then it has to have something other than itself to depend on. Like if we say that that person lies, he's lying, that means what? There must be some truth behind the lie. If he's lying, if he's speaking untruth, that means there must be some truth also behind. So anything false needs the support of truth. Anything false in this world, whatever false we see, needs the support of truth. If truth is not there, that false won't exist at all. I hope you're getting my point. What is our problem? Our problem is that we take the illusion, we take the false to be truth. When we are defining this Satyam as a thing that does not depend on anything other than itself for its existence, everything in this world comes under Mithya. The cloth that you're wearing, the clothes, shirt or whatever you're wearing, what is it dependent on? Shirt is dependent on? Tell me.
The fabric.
Yes, fabric, thread. Yes, the thread is dependent on cotton. Cotton is dependent on plant. Plant is dependent on earth. This will go on continuously. Everything is, you take anything in this world, it will depend on something else for its existence. You take anything. Now, you all give me examples. Give me one or two examples of what is Satyam and what is Mithya. How a thing is dependent. You see a mud pot. Mud pot. What is it dependent on?
Mud.
Mud. It is dependent on mud. Mud is again dependent on water. Water is dependent on fire. Fire is dependent on air. Air is dependent on space. How this comes, we will see in this Tattwa Bodh. Everything, whatever you take here, is dependent on something else. A wave. When you see a wave in the river or in the ocean, what is it dependent on? Hmm? Wave. Air and water. Air and water also, Shubhashi. Only air won't create it because it depends on water for it. What is it made up of? It's made up of water. So we need water also. Similarly, anything you take in this world, it is dependent on something other for its existence. But our attention does not go there. And we are very much affected by that illusion, by the mithya. Satyam is what? That it does not require anything for its existence. False will require something else. But that Satyam, it does not require anything. On its own, it exists. Now, I'll tell you about two types of existences. Two types of dependence, you can say. How one is dependence for sustenance, and the other one is dependence for existence. Be very, very careful. These are subtle points. Dependence for existence and dependence for sustenance. I'll give you example. A child is dependent on its father. Child dependent on its father. This is dependence for sustenance.
Sustenance.
Yes. Body dependent on food. Okay. Dependence of sustenance, for sustenance. Plant dependent on water. Dependent for sustenance. But when we come to dependence for existence, it is like gold and ornament. If you remove the gold, will the ornament exist? It is like wave and the water. If you remove the water, will the wave exist? It is like fabric and the shirt that you're giving the example right now. If you remove the thread, the cotton, will the shirt exist? This is dependence for existence. These two are different things. Here, what we are talking about when we are defining Satyam, it is dependence for existence. It is not for sustenance. Give me examples now, all of you. Give me
We need
examples
wealth.
of dependence or sustenance and dependence for existence. Hmm?
Amma, we need wealth for sustenance.
Hmm.
And for existence, like the body, we need the organs.
Yeah, you can say like that. Yes. Good.
Petrol for the car.
Petrol
And
for the car, very good.
and the material, the car, steel for the car.
Very good, Darshana. Good. Very good. More. Think about it.
Battery for the phone and charging, electricity to charge this phone. Battery
Electricity charging again comes under sustenance.
sustenance, and without battery the phone will not work, so that is existence.
Without battery,
Or the components of the phone.
yes, the components will be better. Good. More? So you all understood. I can go ahead. You all understood the difference in sustenance and existence. Here what we are talking was about the existence part, dependence for existence. That is called Satyam. If we remove the petals, the stalk, the fragrance, the color from the flower, it won't exist. So here it is dependence for existence. Body is a combination. Body is a combination of different organs, of different things placed at a placed in particular places. If the feet is on the head or something like that, or deformed body, it won't exist for a long time, or we can't call it a body. So it has to have a particular place, all the organs. It has to have a particular shape, functioning also, everything that composes a body. When we remove all those things, the body, we cannot define body. It is gone. So that is why body is also not Satyam. Because it is being defined by something else other than itself. But another point is mithya. When we come to mithya, tat anyat sarvam mithya iti. The definition says, apart from satyam, whatever is left comes under the category of mithya. Mithya will always require satyam for its substratum, for its existence. Like the example of a rainbow. The rainbow is false. We all know that. It is false. It appears and then again it disappears. But it needs a substratum where it can show itself. The sky is the substratum or the truth behind that false rainbow. When we see a mirage water, what is the satyam behind that mirage water? Wherever we are seeing it, if we are seeing it on the sand, or on the road, when we travel in cars or wherever, we see the mirage on the road, mirage water. It appears that it is wet, or it appears that water is there. But when we reach that position, there's no water. It's road, dry road, hot road. So that road or the sand is the substratum for that, the satyam behind the false mirage water. Anything false, anything mithya, if it is seen, it depends on something satyam. If this body is seen, it has to have something satyam behind it as a substratum. If the rose is seen, anything in this world, whatever is seen, we have categorized it under the category of mithya because it is dependent on something else other than itself. It needs a substratum. It needs a satya substratum. When I come to myself, tell me, do I need anything to tell me that I am? I am existing. Do you need anything? Just think about it. To know that you are. The moment you get up in the morning, you had a very deep sleep. Come to that position, think about that position, when you just got up from your deep sleep and still you're not aware of the body. The body awareness, the mind awareness has not come yet. But still, you know that you are. I am. For that, you don't need a name. For that, don't need a mind. For that, you don't need your eyes to be open. For that, you don't need to see your body. But still, you have that experience that I am. The shape is also not there in the mind. Again, if you come to shape, what is a shape? Anything that has got a shape is dependent on something else. Anything in this world has got a shape. It has got a name and it has got a shape, form. What is a shape? If there is a shape, it again will depend on something else. And again, if it depends on something else, it will fall under the category of mithya. That is why my eye, that I experience without time, without space, without object, without my body, without my mind, without my eyes, ears. When I get up in the morning, when I'm still not aware of my body, at that time, the shape also does not click. Weight of the body, my shape of the body, I'm fat or I'm thin, that does not click, that does not make any sense. But still, I have that experience. You cannot deny that experience is not there, that I am. Very much I am existing. That is called Satyam. Try to think a lot. This text will teach us how to think. So now the next topic comes. The next paragraph is Atma Kaha. What is the Atma then? Atma Kaha. So here three prakriyas, processes have been given about defining about Atma, how to define Atma. So they are giving three procedures or three prakriya, what we call. What are these three prakriyas? First one is Shariratraya Viveka Prakriya. Three bodies, three Sharir Vivek Prakriya. It is telling us that this Atma is not the body. But we have, this body is see, we have got three bodies. One is the Sthul Sharir that we see. Then it has got Sukshma Sharir. And then it has got Karan Sharir. We'll come to all those things separately because he will define it for us. Each and every Sharir has got its definition. What do we need to know here? We need to know the three procedures of defining that Atma. How do we conclude what is Atma? First, he is saying that there is a prakriya to remove those three bodies, that those three bodies are not Atma. They don't constitute Atma. Then he says, Panchakoshatita san. You have to remove. It is not that this body is constituted only by three bodies. It has got five personalities also, which we call five koshas. Panchakosh. What are those Panchakosh? Annamay Kosh, Pranamay Kosh, Manomay kosh. Okay. So pranamay, annamay kosh, pranamay kosh, manomay kosh, vigyanmay kosh, and last one is anandamay kosh. Annamay, pranamay, vigyanmay, manomay, vigyanmay, and anandamay. In English, you can define it as the first one is physical personality, second one is dynamic personality, physical personality, dynamic personality. Third comes your emotional personality. Fourth is that intellectual personality. And fifth one is tendential personality. You have your tendencies, the sanskars, the impressions that you take. That is in Karan Sharir. 5 types of koshas are also there. So he is telling us that this body is this Atma is not the 5 koshas also. This was the second point. Is giving us prakriyas. What? The first one is this Atma does not constitute of 3 bodies. Soul Sharir, Sukshma Sharir, and Karan Sharir. Then what is it? It does not constitute of 5 koshas also, 5 sheaths, 5 personality. What are those 5 personalities? Annamay, Pranamay, Manomay, Vigyanmay, Anandamay. Physical, Pranamay is dynamic, then mental, emotional and mental are same, then intellectual and tendential. But why can't it come straight away to what is Atma? Why is it removing one by one? That is the problem here. That is the problem. Suppose, like when we were young, I was young in my college days, we used to give our friends birthday gifts and all. There was a small birthday gift, a small earring, but we used to pack it. Causal body will come later. I'll explain to you when the topic comes. So when the gift was packed, we used to tell the person who was packing, or we used to bring all the things. We used to pack it in newspapers like this, and then we used to ultimately the gift used to become very bulky and huge. Now we used to give that girl the present, and she used to have a hard time opening one after the other. She used to think that we have given her a huge present, big present. But she used to open one box after other. Again, she used to open it again. And ultimately, what was there inside was a little gift. All pranks, friendly pranks. So similarly, what it is not, that we are removing. Because we have mixed it with the mithya. Satyam, we have mixed it with mithya. So we are first removing what is mithya, what it is not. After we remove what it is not, we will come to the conclusion of what it is, and then the Shastra, the scriptures become quiet. Because as soon as you try to define that Atma, or you put it in words, again it will have a shape. Because words, they can define or they can describe anything with shape only. And my experience about Atma is what? I don't, because remember that experience I was talking about when you just got up in the morning. At that time, you're not aware of your shape also, of your body also, of your name also, of who you are also, but still you know that you are. So here we are removing what that Atma is not. First one was we are removing the 3 bodies, then we are removing 5 koshas. Is it enough? No, there's one more thing. What is it? We have to remove avasthas also. Avasthas means what? There are 3 planes of consciousness in which we are shunting from one plane of consciousness to the other. Like right now, I hope we are all in waking state. Yeah, we are all waking state. Whoever has not opened their video, I don't know about them. But we are all in waking state. In waking state, whatever we are seeing, those things we find it real. Again, when we come from that waking state, we go to the dream state. There, the mind is available partially. So half of the things belong to the realm of waking state. The impressions are carried in that, and that mind projects because it is working only partially. Whatever impressions it has carried from the waking state, it will take those impressions and it will project on its own according as per its vasanas or tendencies in the dream state. Our Gurudev used to give a very nice example for this. He used to say, I saw one elephant that was going on the road. And I saw a girl called Lily who was also walking. In the morning, I saw her walking and she was wearing a nice pink colored skirt. And then I went off to sleep. I dozed off. And then in the dream, I saw that elephant wearing that pink skirt and walking nicely. The impressions are carried in, but the mind is not fully available to process it. It is partially available. And that is why it mixes those impressions and it projects. This is called a dream state. And another state is deep sleep state, where we know nothing. Even I'm not aware of my body also at that time. What to talk about mind, what to talk about my notions, intellect, everything. I'm so fussy, I'm so insistent about many things, but I leave everything at that time. I leave all my joys, all my sorrows. I just purchased a new car, a Porsche maybe. It is standing outside in my garage, but still I leave it. I had dreamt of buying that Porsche since so long, but it is there now in the garage. But when I'm sleeping, when I'm in that deep sleep state, I know of nothing. I'm just sleeping. I've left everything. My dearest wife, my dearest husband, my dearest kid, my dearest relatives. That is called deep sleep state. So these three states, we are always shunting in these three states. From one state to the other, again from the other to the third one. Like that we are shunting. So he is trying to define that that Atma is not those three states also. So these three prakriyas, three procedures, our first one was to negate the bodies, three bodies, then to negate the five koshas, then again to negate the three avasthas, three bodies, five koshas and three avasthas. Three bodies are Sthul Sharir, Sukshma Sharir, Karan Sharir. Five koshas are Annamay, Pranmay, Manomay, Vigyanmay and Anandmay. And the three avasthas are Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. It is not that. Then what is it? Tell me what is it? Then he comes to Satchidananda Swarupaha. What is it? What is the nature of that? That the nature of that is okay, one word has been left. Sakshi. Sakshi. Avasthatre Sakshi. It is, what is it? It is not traveling in all those three planes. It is not traveling. It is not a traveler. That Atma is not a traveler from waking state to dream state, dream state to deep sleep state. It's not like that. But the three states are appearing on that Atma one by one. The three states are appearing because it is false. And I told you that if a rainbow is there, the rainbow is a false rainbow. It needs some substratum. Anything light will need a truth for its existence. Similarly, those avasthas are going. It goes one by one. It comes, it disappears, it appears, disappears. On what? On that Atma, on me. I am not traveling. Those states are appearing on me. I am what? The word given here is I am the Sakshi. Like you are seeing, watching a movie. You're watching a movie. When you're watching the movie, the slides on the scenes on the movie screen, they come and go. They come and go. One by one, the scenes are coming and they are going. What is it happening? When there's a lot of rain, a thunderstorm, and the hero is hugging the heroine and they are running away from that. Does the screen, iota of that screen get wet? Or when there is a fire, a huge fire, or there's bombardment, does an iota of the screen gets burned? Everything is appearing on that screen. The scenes come one by one and they disappear. Similarly here, the substratum, the screen is the Atma. And the scenes, the movie scenes that are coming one by one, they are all the three states. It is appearing on that Atma. It comes and goes. That Sakshi Bhav that the screen has for each and everything. It is not identified into either the wetness, the rain, or the dryness or the heat of that fire. It is not identified or attached to either. Or it is not attached to one scene. Or it is not attached to one hero or one heroine. Nobody. Or the villain. Similarly, that screen, like that screen, the Atma is also Sakshi of everything. All the three states are passing by on the substratum called Atma. And it is Sakshi, witness, non-affected witness. This is the word Sakshi. Avastha Traya Sakshi. It is not traveling in the three states, rather the three states are appearing on that Atma. Then the fourth word comes, Satchidananda Swarupa. Sakshi means what? Sakshat Ikshate. Sakshat Ikshate iti Sakshi. That has got a direct perception. It is not seeing through any medium. Whatever knowledge we are taking, like I am looking at you, I am seeing you. I am seeing you through how many mediums? First one is my eyes. Let's take it from the mind. If my mind is not there, I can't, the eyes cannot work. I need my mind also properly. Then I need the eyes. Then I have got specs, another medium. Then I got this laptop. In the laptop, there is one app called Zoom. So there are so many mediums between you and between me. And that is why this is not Sakshat Ikshate. This is not direct perception. My knowledge about you is dependent on so many factors. If my eyes is not proper, or if this app does not work, or if the Wi-Fi does not work, something goes wrong. If the medium is not proper, I won't be able to perceive you. It's not possible. So this is called indirect knowledge. It's not Sakshat Ikshate. But Again, come to that example. When you have just got up in the morning, you don't need anything, any medium to know about yourself. If you even close your eyes, still you know that you are. At that time, even the mind is not working properly because it has just caught up. It's not fully aware, but still you know that you are. That is called direct perception. Sakshat ikshate. Okay. So here we come to this Satchidananda Swarupaha. Now, what is called Satchidananda Swarupa? Sat, Chit, and Anand. These are the three words. Sat, Chit, and Anand. I'll give you two more words today. One is called Tatastha Lakshan and one is called Swarup Lakshan. One is called Tatastha Lakshan and one is called Swarup Lakshan. Lakshan means what? Through which we indicate something. Lakshate anena iti lakshanam. Through which we are indicating. Lakshate iti. Indicating something. Like I'll take your example. Supratim is the one who's wearing white spotted shirt. Okay. So this Supratim, because I'm not taking glasses because many of us are wearing glasses. So Supratim is the one who is sitting in front of a white wall with a white shirt with spots on it. Okay. This is called Tatastha Lakshan. Tatastha Lakshan means what? I am sitting on the bank, Tat, and I am defining something. That Lakshan, that I am taking that particular, the characteristic that is being that is defining that person may or may not be there next time. Like if I ask you, which one is your house? You will tell me. Which one is Supratim's house? We have reached Supratim's lane, and I'm asking which one is his house. You can tell me that Amma, that building on which there are many pigeons. Either you can tell me that white building. When you say that the pigeons, the building with the pigeons may be or may not be there. But the whiteness in the building will always be there for the time being. The whiteness of the building is called Swarup Lakshan. That is in his personality, embedded in the personality, that you cannot take it away from that personality or that object. But what is Tatastha Lakshan? The person with a hat. It is not that always he is with a hat. The hat may be or may not be. That is called Tatastha Lakshan. How many of you got it? Tatastha Lakshan and Swarup Lakshan.
Amma, can you please repeat that again? Like Tatastha Lakshan.
Okay.
It went over the mind.
Okay. Who is Ramji? If I ask you, who is Ramji? They are walking in the forest with Lakshmana and Sita. So I'll tell you, the person who has got, who is Sita, who is Ramji? Yeah. The person who has got Sita ji behind and who who are being followed by Sita ji and Lakshman ji, that is called Ramji. That is Ramji. And if I tell you Ramji is the dark person who is walking in front, that is Ramji, who's wearing a yellow dhoti. Can you make out the difference? A dark personality. Lakshman ji and Sita ji may or may not be there. It may change. The Tatastha Lakshan may change. But the Swarup Lakshan does not change. Did you understand? You
Amma,
all
the
give the
Swarup,
examples.
Amma,
Yes.
yeah, yes, Amma. Sorry to disturb. Yeah, so the Swarup Lakshan won't like change ever, right? Like it will
No,
remain
it won't
permanent.
change ever. It will always be there. Like
Okay,
Ramji is always dark.
okay.
Amma,
Darshana?
so color,
Yes.
color of the flower will be Sarup Lakshan, right?
Yes. Yes.
But where we are planting the flower, like it is inside my home or it is outside the in the balcony,
Yes.
it is the
Good.
Tatat Lakshan.
Good. Yeah. Yes. Very good. Give me more examples, everybody. Gitama, you start. Morning class people start. Then these people will come to know.
Amma, right beside me, there is a book in which I have kept the mobile for keeping standstill. So right now, behind the book, I have kept a cover which is of brown color. So tomorrow I may change it to white color cover, but the name of the book will never get changed.
Very good. Very good. Abhama, Gitama, Sarup Lakshan, Tatastha Lakshan. Kinki, Himanshu, Shoma, Yoshi, Shurjatapa. Today Shurjatapa is very quiet. Give examples.
हरे मामा
Hari Om.
जैसे सरस्वती माँ के हाथ में बीन है
Very good.
और नीचे एक हाथ डाक
हाँ।
जैसे
हाँ।
वो है हाँ वो ये सरस्वती माँ का बीन ये तटस्थ लक्ष्मण होगा ना?
हाँ। हाँ।
और उनका जैसे सुंदरता जो है
हाँ, very good.
स्वरूप लक्षण है.
Very good. Very good. Good. Gitama. Oh, ठीक है. Shurjatapa. Yes, 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 yes. Good. ठीक है, ठीक है. Gitama. Pinky. हाँ, Gitama. जल्दी जल्दी बोलिए. हो गया टाइम हमारा. I want to see if it is clear. कोई भी एग्जाम्पल दीजिए ना. सुशील जी का एग्जाम्पल दीजिए. The presentation of a rag may be different by different artists, but the name remains same. Yeah. Which one is Tatas and which one is Swarup? Shubhashi?
जो पेश करते हैं वो तटस्थ है और जो या फिर अब और भी कर सकते हैं, जैसे रविंद्र भवन है, वहां पे जो आर्टिस्ट आते हैं वो आ जाए आ जाएंगे, अगले साल आएंगे, वो ठीक नहीं, लेकिन वो भवन रहेगा।
भवन रहेगा।
हाँ, वो ऑडिटोरियम रहेगा।
बहुत क्लियर नहीं है। और दूसरा कुछ बताओ, तुम्हारा ही बताओ।
हम्म,
तुमने भी क्या पहना है? हाँ, जो भी पहना है वो तुम्हारा तटस्थ लक्षण है, क्योंकि वो तुम निकाल भी सकते हो, बाद में तुम चेंज कर लोगे, नहाने के बाद चेंज कर लोगे, है ना। फिर पर जैसे शुभाशीष जो है वो गोरा है, वो तो चेंज नहीं होगा, वो चेंज नहीं होगा।
अम्मा जो ये ना बिंदी लगा के बैठी है,
हाँ
जो
हाँ
ये होगा तटस्थ लक्षण, ये नहीं भी लगा सकते हैं।
हाँ बिल्कुल।
लेकिन अम्मा का जो साउंड है, जो बोल रही है अम्मा,
हम्म।
आपका आवाज, ये स्वरूप
आवाज
लक्षण है।
आवाज नहीं होगा स्वरूप लक्षण, क्योंकि आवाज जो है, मैं सो जाती हूँ तब आवाज नहीं रहती, या फिर मैं चुप हूँ तब आवाज नहीं रहेगी।
अच्छा
स्वरूप लक्षण हमेशा रहता है।
अच्छा, जो आपका कलर है, जो
हाँ, कलर
देखने
है,
में जो
बाल है, ये सब है, वो हमेशा रहेगा।
पर अगर वो चेंज हो गए तो
बहुत फनी है। सोनिया क्या बोल रही हो?
बहुत बार कलर, और
हाँ
कभी कोई गोरे से काला भी हो जाता है,
हाँ, हम लोग, हाँ हाँ,
काले से
जैसा
गोरा भी
बात
हो
है।
जाता है,
यस,
तो
पर
वो भी
हम लोग
नहीं।
एक जनरल एक देख रहे हैं। बहुत डीप में मत जाओ।
अम्मा
स्पेक्स के साथ में जो हम है वो है। हाँ, तुम्हारे बताओ, आप बताओ।
हमारा पावर का जो नंबर है वो स्वरूप लक्षण है, और हम फ्रेम चेंज करते रह सकते हैं, वो तटस्थ है।
नहीं, दोनों
नहीं,
दोनों ही हमारा तटस्थ लक्षण होगा।
क्योंकि पावर भी
फ्रेम
चेंज।
भी फ्रेम भी और चश्मा भी, क्योंकि तुम जब सो जाती हो तब तो इसको निकाल के सोती हो। We are not always with the specs, but we are
अम,
in our skin always. तो
अम्मा
वो जो हम है, वो जो हमारा कैरेक्टरिस्टिक है, वो कभी भी जो हमसे छूटे ना, वो जो हमारा स्वरूप है, जो हमसे कभी भी जाए ना। जैसे मैंने बिल्डिंग का दिया था, व्हाइट कलर बिल्डिंग, या फिर मैंने बिल्डिंग, वो वाली बिल्डिंग जिसमें बाहर बैल्कनी है, वो वाला जो घर है जिसमें बाहर बैल्कनी है, वो जाएगा नहीं। बहुत डीप में मत जाओ कि हाँ वो तो टूटेगा बाद में, वो एक्स्ट्रा में बना है, वो उतना डिटेल में मत जाओ। वॉट एवर इज नॉट लेफ्ट, वॉट एवर वी कैन नॉट लीव, वो उसका तटस्थ लक्षण, वो उसका स्वरूप लक्षण है। पर वो जो घर है जिसके बाहर में एक डॉगी बंधा हुआ है, वो जो घर है जिसके बाहर में एक गाय खड़ी हुई है, वो जो घर है जिसके ऊपर में कुछ कबूतर हैं या फिर पक्षी बैठा हुआ है, these are all तटस्थ लक्षण that may or may not be there, that can change. Like who is Ramji, who is followed by Lakshman ji and Sita ji, he may be or may not be followed by them, but Ramji's color, Ramji's धोती's color, धोती भी वो येलो ही पहनते हैं हमेशा, that won't change ever. इसलिए हम उनको उस तरह से बोलेंगे। जैसे अब हम माने बोला, तो सरस्वती माँ का जो वीणा है और जो हंस पे वो बैठती है, इट मे और मे नॉट बी देयर, बट जो उनकी सुंदरता है वो उनके साथ हमेशा रहेगी। तो तटस्थ लक्षण मतलब वो है जो चीज रहे ना रहे, हम भी आर डिफाइनिंग बाय सम कैरेक्टरिस्टिक व्हिच मे और मे नॉट बी देयर, बट स्वरूप लक्षण ही कैन नॉट लीव। अच्छा, मैं अब तुम लोग को एग्जाम्पल देती हूँ। सच्चिदानंद स्वरूपाय, जो हम लोग भागवत में पढ़ते हैं, सच्चिदानंद रूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादि हेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्री कृष्णाय वयं नुमः। अब इसमें बताओ कि कौन सा तटस्थ है, कौन सा ये है, स्वरूप है। सच्चिदानंद रूपाय, ये जो सच्चित आनंद रूप है, ये क्या है? स्वरूप है या तटस्थ है? सच्चित आनंद,
ये स्वरूप है।
स्वरूप है, स्वरूप है, स्वरूप
ठीक
है।
है, स्वरूप है, समझ में आ गया। सच्चिदानंद रूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादि हेतवे, जो विश्व की उत्पत्ति का हेतु है, विश्वोत्पत्त्यादि हेतवे,
तटस्थ।
समझ में आ रहा है? विश्वोत्पत्ति, वो विश्व की उत्पत्ति का हेतु है, तो विश्व की उत्पत्ति अगर नहीं हो रही तो भी वो भगवान रहेंगे। विश्वोत्पत्त्यादि हेतवे, फिर क्या है? तापत्रय विनाशाय, जो तापत्रय का विनाश करते हैं वो भगवान श्री कृष्ण। ये कौन सा लक्षण है?
तटस्थ लक्षण।
तटस्थ
तटस्थ,
लक्षण।
तटस्थ,
तटस्थ लक्षण, जब वो नहीं तापत्रय का विनाश कर रहे हैं तो भी वो है। तापत्रय विनाशाय श्री कृष्णाय वयम नुमः, मैं श्री कृष्ण भगवान को प्रणाम कर रही हूँ। तो जब श्री कृष्ण का हमने नाम दे दिया, श्री कृष्ण भी तटस्थ ही है, कि वो भी रूप, जब वो अभी वो साक्षात हमारे सामने नहीं है, पर फिर भी वो है। ये हो गया डिफरेंस। तो यहाँ पे जो सच्चिदानंद स्वरूप सन यस्तिष्ठति स आत्मा जब बोला जा रहा है, तो वो वहां पे स्वरूप लक्षण बताया जा रहा है उस आत्मा का। यू कैन नॉट लीव इट। कृष्णा जी का रंग इस स्वरूप लक्षण, बट उनकी एक ओपिनियन। यस शमा, राइट। ठीक है, एनीबडी हैज एनी क्वेश्चन? अदरवाइज वी कैन वाइंड इट अप। तो ये वाला जो है हमने देखा। हाँ
अम्मा, वो जे
हाँ।
तुम्ही ते येटा बोलले सच्चिदानंद जी होता में क्लियर है नहीं।
सच्चिदानंद स्वरूप जेटा जो है वो क्या है? उसका स्वरूप लक्षण इसलिए है क्योंकि सच, इस वर्ड्स का हम लोग और मीनिंग देखेंगे। सच्चित आनंद वो कभी भी छोड़ नहीं सकता है अपने कैरेक्टरिस्टिक को। सत वो हमेशा है। चित इज नॉलेज स्वरूप। आनंद वो आनंद स्वरूप है, वो उसका स्वरूप ही है। दैट इज इट्स नेचर, उसका स्वभाव है उस आत्मा का। इसलिए वो आत्मा जो है अपने इन कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स को कभी छोड़ नहीं सकता, इसीलिए वो स्वरूप लक्षण है उसका। बिकॉज इट कैन नॉट लीव दीज कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स। सत, like we saw just now, what is satyam? That is not dependent on anything other than itself. So that sat is always there. That Shri Krishna in the form of Sat Chit and Anand will always be there. Even if his outer form is not there, but still he is there in the form of Sat Chit Anand Swaroop. So that is Swaroop Lakshan. And whatever is other than that, is that comes under Tatastha Lakshan. We are indicating him. Who is that Krishna who incarnated in Dwapar, who incarnated in Yaduvansh, who incarnated through Vasudev Devki. All these are Tatastha Lakshan. Understood? So here that is why it is being said that Satchidananda Swarupa Sun, yes, Tishtati Sa Atma. That Atma has got what are the characteristics? Satchit Anand. Because if you're removing everything, removing, you have removed the three bodies, you have removed the five koshas, you have removed three avasthas. I have to know what is it then actually. That's why here it is being defined as its Swarup Lakshan is Sat, Chit and Anand. We'll come to this, what is Sat, Chit and Anand, because we have got three tendencies. I feel I'm a mortal. I feel I don't know everything, I'm ignorant. And I feel that I have a lot of sorrows also in this world. To remove these three things, Sat, Chit and Anand comes into picture. That we'll see next time. It will be too much for you and time is also over.
Amma, I had a question.
हाँ.
Shall I continue?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Amma, I just wanted to know this thing about mithya that as per the definition, mithya is something which is dependent on some other factor or other
Yeah,
element. So
yeah.
in that case, it's like the body is dependent upon organs. The organs are dependent upon the five Panchamahabhut, the five abiotic components. The five abiotic components are then again dependent upon the interstellar dust of the universe. Then which is again dependent on the universe. Then everything is dependent on something or something else for sustenance. Then
Okay,
what is
Darshana.
existence and what is truth?
Yeah, that's what is Atma. That's what is Atma here. That is being defined. First, they are defining what it is not. It is removing. What will be left is Atma here. The first characteristic is given Satchidananda Swarupa Sat. We are removing what it is not. What will be left has that Swarup of Sat Chit and Anand. Don't worry, your doubts will get cleared slowly. Because it is removing first. Initially, we are removing what it is not. What will be left is that Atma, the eternal truth, that you can name anything. But that truth that does not change in time, space, and object. It is same. That is called Satchitananda Swarup. Okay, we'll come to it again. Okay, slowly, your doubts will be clear. Yes, Himanshu.
अम्मा जो अभी आपने बोला तो अभी इतना मतलब सिर्फ समझ में आ रहा है वो, इसीलिए मैं आपको एग्जांपल तो दे रहा हूँ कि जो गाड़ी होता है, जो गाड़ी वो स्वरूप लक्षण होता है, और जो अंदर सिर्फ अभी के लिए बोल रहा हूँ, अभी के लिए, और जिसका जो उसके अंदर गाना बजता है और जो हम लोग चलाते हैं वो टच, वो मतलब वो तो कभी हम चला भी सकते नहीं भी सकते, वो होगा या नहीं?
गाना का ठीक है, पर
हाँ,
गाड़ी
गाना
का
का,
जो
हाँ
गाड़ी का जो वो तुमने बोला स्वरूप लक्षण, गाड़ी का मटेरियल होगा,
हाँ हाँ हाँ,
लोहा।
मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ मैं।
हाँ ठीक है, बिल्कुल। गुड। Anybody has any other question?
I have a question.
Yeah, Sonia.
If even Atma is dependent on the body,
Atma is not dependent on the body. Who said? Atma cannot be dependent on anything.
Without a body?
Huh?
Can it exist without a body?
Yeah, of course. It exists without the body. That is why it is Satyam. It does not need anything for its existence. It exists without the body. Actually, body is
need a body.
body's existence is due to Atma. धीरे धीरे clear होगा सोनिया. Body.
Sorry, can we conclude in this phase that there can be only one Atma pervading everywhere, because we can't have two different Atmas?
Yes. Only one Brahma, one Atma. When we indicate that Brahma in Vyashti, microcosm, individually, that is called Atma. And when we take it in macrocosm, in the Samashti, as a full, it is called Brahma. It is one only, it can't be two. So body, coming to question of Sonia, body is asatya because it is dependent on many factors to be defined. But Atma here does not need anything for its existence. That is why anything you see in this world, just you have to categorize between Satya and Mithya. Everything is Mithya in this world. We'll come to it more when we, in the next classes, when we categorize more into this body, mind, and intellect, how it is also dependent on something other than itself. That is why it also comes under the category of Mithya. And that Atma is only Satyam. And everything is dependent on that Atma. It is as if the screen and the movie, shots, the movie scenes. So everything is as if passing on that Atma. And that Atma is a Sakshi of everything. Without that Atma, nothing can exist in this world. Everything, every single cell here. Everything that you see here in this world exists because of Atma, in Atma, on Atma, for Atma. It is not something separate from Atma. And that is why we'll come to all these principles. You think about it. That is why Narsimha Bhagwan could come through the pillar because he is already there. It is Atma. The pillar is also Atma. I'm giving you some points to ponder. Now, after this comes the question of sentiency and insentiency. How does it happen? Think about it. All the questions and the answers are here in Tattwa Bodh. We'll see one by one. Have patience. But keep thinking continuously. Okay, I like when you all think a lot and you shower questions on me. Keep thinking. Enjoy the class. Keep thinking. Keep relating it to your experiences. Have more new questions. When the question is yours, the answer will click. So try to think and have questions. Today, Kinki
Amma.
didn't speak at all. Sujatapa has got a reason. Yes.
Amma,
Yoshi also did.
Just one small tiny question.
Tell me.
Yeah, the example of Narsimha Bhagwan, which you said, I was just pondering about it, that if we consider Narsimha Bhagwan as Atma, in the pillar he is Sakshi Roop, but he again, when he takes the Swaroop, he becomes the doer. So can Atma never be the doer, or it can be the doer and Sakshi at the same time?
Yes, it can be the doer, but it needs some expression. That is why he took a roop. Even the pillar is Atma. Don't differentiate between the pillar and Narsimha. That we'll go to some other topic now. So both of them, everything is Atma here. Akhandanand ji used to say Atma thas bhara hua hai. There's not a single place where Atma is not there. We'll come to all these points. Then when we say a person died, the dead body is there, Atma goes out of the body. Where will it go? Because everywhere there is Atma. It needs some expression. Think about all these things. We have such weird notions. आत्मा बाहर निकल के चली गई, कहाँ जाएगी भाई? हर जगह आत्मा ही है, जाने के लिए कोई जगह तो चाहिए जहाँ वो नहीं है. सब जगह पे आत्मा है. Everywhere आत्मा is present. It's all pervading. Otherwise, you are negating your theories. You are negating Vedas. It's not possible. ये सब धीरे धीरे click होगा. Keep thinking. It will make you think. It will make your impressions clear, your notions clear, your vision will be more clear, better, and you'll become a better performer in life.
What is the English word for Atma?
Atma? Atma का आत्मा ही है. Atman. ATMAN.
Then
Atman.
what is soul?
What is?
Soul.
Soul. हाँ, soul भी बोल सकते हो. Soul भी बोल सकते हो. But you know, ये English words, they don't hit the target completely. इसलिए आत्मा का आत्मा ही रहने दो. सोल मत बोलो. सोल हम लोग सोल मेट्स भी यूज करते हैं. हम लोग सोल को जान बोल के भी, द सोल ऑफ दैट थिंग, ऐसा भी बोलते हैं. वो आत्मा आत्मा ही रहने दो. ब्रह्म को ब्रह्मन हम बोल देते हैं, आत्मा को आत्मन बोल देते हैं. That's all.
Then if a person dies, what happens?
अब वो हम आएंगे, धीरे धीरे आएंगे उस पे. आएंगे जब हम बॉडीज देखेंगे ना, तब हम आएंगे उस पे, डिटेल में आएंगे. These questions will be taken. ठीक है, अब भूख लगी है. चलो हम फिर मिलेंगे. Submit your notes. Bye. Hari Om. Be on time. And whoever is not present, ask them why they are not present. Supratim, this is your duty, responsibility.
Okay,
Ask
ma'am.
them. Okay.
Okay.
Have a good weekend and enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Hari Om. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम।